CBS is seeking about $5.5 million for a 30-second advertisement during the next year Super Bowl, and that's according to a Wall Street Journal report. It says that ad buyers, though, are asking for a way out of their commitment if the NFL season or championship game can't be played because of the pandemic, which, you know, obviously you would think you're not going to pay $5.5 million or, you know, a 30-second spot on Survivor or some rerun. I don't know. Joining us now to talk the business of sports during the COVID era and what changes we might see, Don Cornwell, partner at PJT Partners and a former Morgan Stanley sports and gaming investment banker. Don, I looking over your notes, one thing that surprised me was that you think that the abundance of sporting events on the horizon makes it possible that there's too much. And I didn't understand, because I'm watching more sports now, I think, just because I am so happy to be back. I'm watching all the playoffs. I'm watching out of team. I'm watching MLB in cities that I don't even care about. I grew up in Cincinnati, but I'm watching all of them. So you expect that not to last. So far, the ratings have been gangbuster, right? As we've had something to do.
They've been quite good, especially for the NBA relative to some previous years. My concern is that there's overload, and that you've got at the same time basketball, baseball, hockey, Major League Soccer, UFC's doing a lot of events. You've got Champions League over in Europe, and at some point you can only watch so much sports, and typically, the sports world tries to spread things out, right? They try to be thoughtful about, okay, I don't want to compete with these other sports. And then you've got the behemoths of college football and professional football right around the corner.
So what does that mean for whether we see investments into the different areas? We saw Dwayne Johnson, obviously. Maybe we'll see some teams that are maybe on the some sports teams, professional, that are on the market. Does it mean they command higher valuations, lower valuations? What's in the mix? What's going on right now that you hear as a banker?
Yeah, so there are a few teams that are on the market. I think the Mets process has been well covered. But I think behind the scenes, what you're seeing a lot more of are teams thinking about their liquidity positions. And the good news for the major leagues here in North America is that they've got wonderful TV contracts that lenders like to lend against. And so the leagues have been able to increase their debt capacity. So teams, if they need a couple extra bucks for a rainy day, and today's definitely a rainy day, they can get access to that capital. That being said, they do have debt limits. And many clubs.
I'm sorry, Don. Wilf wants to get in a second, but I just want to. Are people saying I want to pay less because of COVID? I'm worried about what the future looks like. Is there a COVID discount on any of the? Is it a buyer's market?
Investors are trying that. I'll tell you a quick story. I was in the middle of something where an investor was arguing just that they wanted a COVID discount, and the team owner replied to the investor, COVID discount is that I'm talking to you. If it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't be having this conversation with you anyway. So you're paying me full value.
Exactly.
The fact that you can actually get access to this equity is really what your discount is.
I was going to ask, Don, I mean, we know that TV revenues are obviously fantastic, as you said, and they can borrow against them. But for U.S. sports, both within them and versus some of the other key sports around the world, is the percentage of total revenue that comes from match day, like ticket sales and other merchandise at the ground, higher for U.S. sports? And within the U.S. sports, which ones is it highest of all?
It depends on the sport. So the NHL, Major League Soccer, and baseball are the ones that have the highest exposure to day of game. Football and basketball, while day of game is important, their TV contracts are so large that they still generate a significant amount of revenue. Relative to the rest of the world, it really depends. If you were to look at the top 5 or 6 teams in the English Premier League, their day of game match day revenue is quite large. But then when you get to some of the smaller clubs, it's really all about the TV contract.